And most times, it takes disasters to jolt us into reality of decay in our system. The July 5 terrorist attack on the Medium Security Custodial Centre, Kuje in Abuja, is another instance. Following the incidents which led to the escape of more than 800 inmates, the Controller General of Nigeria Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, said the country's prisons are not fortified enough to withstand the kind of attacks they have been subjected to in recent times. Nababa admitted that they received intelligence on the possibility of the attack, but information was not narrowed down to the Kuje Custodial Centre. He stressed the need to fortify facilities at custodial centres, not only with highly skilled personnel, but also with new structures that could withstand the new trend of crime in Nigeria. Mikhail, this is not the first person who has made these reservations, ultimately public. Who is not doing what, and especially when warnings have been given?
We have no reason in the world to allow the kind of attack that happened in Kuje to happen. No reason. One is too close to the seat of power to even be taking that kind of risk. We have military bases all around the federal capital. The Asurok itself is surrounded by no less than 4 barracks. So why can't we protect the major prison in the seat of power? Why can't we protect it? And the way to protect it is to get all the armed forces involved, bring soldiers, enough soldiers, bring enough civil defense people, bring even the custodial officers themselves. Put an armored tank in the vicinity. Let's show the people who are breaking prisons in our country and freeing hardened criminals that we are ready for them. The way it is now, even saying that they are not fortified to withstand this kind of attacks is embarrassing to hear people talk in this manner. If we are they saying, for example, that if those guys will come back tomorrow, they will succeed again? Okay. Is that what they are telling us? In Akwa Ibom, for example, there are about 4 or 5 prisons. You can imagine what will happen if criminals just storm those prisons and set people free in all of those prisons. Uyo, Kota, Abasi, all of those places where there are prisons in Akwa Ibom. You can imagine the effect it will have on the society to release a lot of people who are on death row, allow them to start roaming free. This is what happened. More than 800 prisoners released in Kuje, and they operated for more than 2 hours. How do you explain that? They even had the time to preach to inmates. I mean, there's no excuse for this to happen. Yes, we know that in Nigeria, people don't resign. People don't resign. They don't leave when they have failed their nation. But no one should come and be telling us that, oh, these prisons are not built to withstand the kind of attacks that they... I mean, what? Those guys came with IEDs. Of course, you should expect that that will happen. But we've seen them bring maximum violence to some military formations, and they could not penetrate because we protected those military formations. I've seen them try to take over even some towns in Borno State, and they didn't succeed because we fortified those places. We provided enough security. That's what we should do across all those custodial centers. If we do that, once they fail 1 or 2 times, if they fail like 2 times on the bounce, this trend will stop. Because they would tell themselves, we may not succeed though. But the more they keep succeeding, the more these attacks will continue. Because I think about 11 occasions now, they've broken our jails.
All right, so Labisi, I would have loved us to talk about the lack of urgency in taming this, but we already have statements coming out from that quarter, so it would be a waste of time for us to talk about that. Now, Kuje Custodial Centre attack has happened. What lessons would you have thought the federal government would have taken away from this and would have urgently implemented as we speak?
Well, from the way the correctional board spoke, I don't think they are learning any lesson, and I don't also foresee them doing anything urgent to forestall a repeat of this. Yes, I agree that our prisons were not built with terrorist attacks in mind. It is true, because the prisons or the correctional homes or centers, as they are called now, are for people, offenders, criminals, and all of that. Nobody envisaged that terrorism will get to this point in this country as it is now. However, we didn't just get here. This is something that we've been battling with terrorism for even more than 20 years now, or close to 20 years. So you will have expected the proactive government to make special provisions for that kind of development. And you also wouldn't expect that terrorists will be put in the same correctional centers as other types of criminals. And because if you really know terrorists for who they are, that these are bloodthirsty people that do not, that are unrepentant, and they are also used to getting so much money from people that they kidnap. You can imagine people getting up to 800 million naira from just 7 captives. These are people that they have access to so much money, they have access to weapons, they have access to arms, and they are bloodthirsty. You don't put them together with even normal hardened criminals. I thought that we ought to have built special centers that are well fortified for terrorists. And this is something that should still be done now, instead of us talking about the fact that what we have are not enough or fortified enough. Let's do what is now needful now that we are confronted with this problem.
All right, thank you very much.